will call roll, please.
Mayor Barrone,
Present.
Councilmember Cantu,
Here.
Councilmember Han.
Present.
Okay. Renee, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please, if everybody would stand?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll have a approval of the agenda, Council.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
A motion to approve as presented. We have a second?
I'll second.
And a second. Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Han.
Yes.
Councilmember Cantu.
Yes.
So we have item 6, a public hearing, 575 Sports and Company LLC Restaurant Beer and Wine License Application, consideration and possible approval of liquor license application 935039 for a restaurant beer and wine liquor license for 575 Sports and Company LLC located at 1109 Paseo de Pueblo Sur. Mr. Lopez, did you have comment, or if not, we'll turn to the applicant and nothing? And the applicants are here, I believe? Yes. And did you want to do a presentation, or?
We don't have one ready.
Mr. Bellis? You want to?
Yeah, I will.
You want to sit up there and then state your name for the record, please? I'm speaking to the mic.
Right here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm Monica Tafoya, co-owner of 575 Sports and Company.
Okay.
And I'm Luciano Gallegos, co-owner of 575 Sports and Company.
Okay. And currently, you just want to tell us a little bit about the business and why you're applying for a liquor license and why you think it's a good idea.
Okay. Do you want to go or do you want to? Okay. Well, we started this plan of the 575 Sports and Company a few years ago. And we started putting it together in 2014, probably like around April-ish, I guess, huh? And just coming and meeting different townspeople to get our business licenses to build and all that. And we just, it used to be, he owned a business before, and it was called the Taos Yacht and Sports Club. This is not affiliated with the Taos Yacht and Sports Club. This is a brand new business. What we did was we wanted to do something different. So we added a kitchen and made it a restaurant. And we opened December 10th, 2014. So we've been open now for a few months. It's going really good. The menu's great. It's an all original menu. We have everything from appetizers to entrees, and we're just looking to stay a little bit busier because it seems as though, one of the biggest things is people like to go, it is a sports bar, so you can go watch all of your sports events at the restaurant and just enjoy a good meal and a beverage if they feel.
So currently, you're serving food and you kind of have a
Yes, sir.
all about restaurant,
Yes.
We're serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay.
Yes, and it's open 7 days a week. And I am there only half the time because I do own my own business. I own a salon called Smoke and Mirror Salon. So I too am a business owner of another business, and it's going really well right now.
So basically, you're looking to add a beer and wine license to the
Yes, sir.
to the restaurant. Okay. Okay. Anything else that you want to add?
No.
No?
She said it all.
Okay. So this is a public hearing, so if there's anybody in the audience then that would like to speak for or against or otherwise, we'd like to hear from you now. So you can yeah, that's fine. If the chief was here, he'd, no.
Thank you.
Mayor Barrone, members of council, I'm Mary Passalia. I'm with Rocky Mountain Youth Corps here in Taos. And I'd like to talk a couple minutes about alcohol outlet density because alcohol abuse and dependence poses a significant health risk to public health and the safety of both adults and the youth that we serve here in New Mexico. New Mexico has the highest death rate for alcohol in the United States, with 1 in 6 deaths among working age adults. And in addition, what Rocky Mountain Youth Corps is significantly concerned about is underage drinking. It's a significant concern, with about 22% of high school students reporting drinking alcohol before the age of 13. It is the 4th highest rate in the nation. And why are we concerned about alcohol density? We know that high alcohol outlet density has public health harms. There's an increase in violence, DWI, sexual assault, domestic violence, property damage, and underage and risky drinking. So while I understand that this is just a restaurant license with food associated with it, I think it is important for us to continue to remind the town council regarding alcohol outlet density. We know from looking at the second page that the city of Taos is 50% over quota in alcohol outlet density. And so what that means is if the quota is 1 full license for every 2,000 people, we're 50% over that total in licenses. And so it's something that we just need to keep in the back of our mind and continue thinking about, is alcohol density related to DWI, youth, violence, youth underage drinking? And yes, the research would show it is. And so Rocky Mountain Youth Corps would just like you to remember that alcohol density is 50% over the quota in the town of Taos, and consider as you move forward on liquor licenses in the future what local control you have over increasing the high density. I'd be happy to stand for questions along with my colleague Cassandra, should you have any questions. Yes, yes, Councilor.
Councilor Hahn?
Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Rocky Mountain. Thanks, applicants. What are you defining as an outlet?
Okay, you are indeed correct to ask that, because alcohol density and the licenses that I'm talking about here are hard liquors. So you are absolutely right. It is not a license that's associated with food and beverage together, a restaurant type setting. It is based on hard alcohol,
So,
not beer and wine.
so Albertsons would be considered an outlet. And so now work me through this arithmetic, Mary.
Well, I don't know how good I am on math either.
Well, just for my own benefit. But if we have 2,000 people in the town, let's say it's 6,000, then that means that we should only have 3 licenses for outlets. That means Albertsons, Smith's, and Del Norte. That's it. That's the way I'm reading this.
And we need to be very careful too, because some are outside the boundaries
Of the town.
The town. They become county. So if I was to draw you a map, you would see a real cluster in the downtown area and along where there are restaurants. There's a cluster, but many of those are restaurant related.
Right.
Yeah.
So with a population of 6,000, we could have 3 outlets.
Correct.
But
One
instead,
full
if we're
license for every
50%
2,000.
over, we have 6.
Yes.
6 outlets.
Yeah. And I think Mr. Bellis might be able to
Okay.
talk to you a little bit about that there is a local option that allows you as a city council to move beyond what is required through a local option. Mr. Bellis, is that correct?
I defer to the attorney on that.
So, I just want to clarify that by outlets, the actual statute talks about dispensers licenses or retail licenses. We're
Here-
hearing the application is for a restaurant.
Right,
Correct.
this is irrelevant in this
Yeah.
case, I
It's
understand.
irrelevant what we're
Yeah.
talking, we're
It
just,
has no bearing in this
Right.
case.
correct.
The question that just arose is local option district. The town clerk spoke with the deputy director of the, I call them ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control, but it's actually Alcohol and Gaming.
Gaming.
Now, the Regulation Licensing Department. This morning, and she had said that she didn't believe under 60-6012 that a limitation of dispensers or retailers licenses to one per 2,000 applied. But I was reading the statute, and it looks to me like my reading of the statute says it would apply. And I put in a call to her, but I haven't heard back from her. And so I can, as soon as I hear from her, discuss that further with her and see why she had told the clerk that. But again, it's really not an issue in this case because we're talking about a restaurant license, beer and wine license. And I don't think the retailers or dispensers licenses are limited just to hard liquor, but it's the nature of it. They're package sales is what they are. And so that's the one that invokes, in both cases, whether it's local option or not, the limitation of the statute.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just like to be clear, we're not here in opposition to 575 or what they're doing. We're just here because there's a microphone and a hearing about alcohol in our community.
Totally
And
understand, Mary.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the public that wishes to speak for or against? This is a public hearing, so.
Mr. Mayor, I do have one question. When I met with you in regards to this property originally, and you're converting it and getting a building permit, there was an agreement with the property owner that there was an arrearage on the sewage that was due to the town. And the agreement was that the owner would assume responsibility for all the rental properties and that payment would start to be made towards that arrearage. And based on that, we granted you the building permit for this property. It's my understanding that agreement hasn't been kept.
We went in and made one payment, and then they said as long as we make another payment by the 20th, we'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you. And the fire inspection has been completed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So,
I have a couple of questions for him.
okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing,
Okay.
and then we'll give the council an opportunity to. So if there's nobody else from the public, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Councilwoman, you had a question?
Was I hearing that you started this process for your beer and wine license in October? Is that what you said? Or did you open your business then?
We opened the business in December. We started the process in November.
In November?
Yes.
And so you finally got the approval through the state? And that's why we're at the public hearing now, is that the process?
The state sends it to the town, and then the town has to approve it first, and then they send it back to the state, and then the state has to sign off on it.
Okay, so it's just beer and wine?
Yes, beer and wine.
Okay. That's all I wanted to ask.
And it does take a number of portions in the newspaper, so it's publicized, correct, Renee?
That's correct, Mayor. We received this application on January 29th, and I contacted the applicant immediately, and it was published in the Taos News on February 5th and 12th. And we had to hold the publication for 2 weeks, and then we scheduled a special meeting.
And actually, we tried to move it up and hear it today. This is probably our earliest. We actually called a special meetings to be able to hear it so that we weren't holding the business up in any way. So, Anything else from council? So what is the wishes of the council?
I'd like to move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Councilwoman. We have a second to that.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? If not, Mr. Bellis, I just want to ask a question under discussion. So was the permission to move forward on the application based on, on the permits, that the sewage is being caught up or, I mean?
Well, again, I'll rely on council, but my understanding of the law would be that the alcohol licensing process is independent of any of the local ordinances, and therefore we could not withhold the application at this time, citing that as an excuse. There are limited reasons for turning down an alcohol application, and as you're aware from former instances with being at 300 feet from a church, school, et cetera, prior bad record, over concentration of licenses. In this case, this was a private club, and you had, I believe you were permitted to serve hard liquor as well in the club. So this is actually a reduction in use. In addition, the owners have entered into an agreement that we feel is to the benefit of the town, in that rather than relying on the individual tenants to pay the sewer bills, it becomes the owner's responsibility regardless of who occupies the businesses. They have made an initial payment against that balance and are reducing that balance. The plans were submitted, and we just needed some clarification during the building process and the fire separation of the kitchen, which I believe was in the responsibility of the fire department. So we have no reason in planning and building to recommend withholding this permission at this time, if the council so chooses to go that way.
Okay. Mr. Lopez, did you have something?
And just to add to that, I don't think that it could be withheld on that basis, on the basis of the sewage arrears, nor can the payment of the arrears be made a condition of the permit. There are other avenues that the town can explore in enforcing or collecting the arrears, but it can't be through the permit process.
Okay. All right.
And
So
it's
we-
my understanding, excuse me, that the applicant is going to take care of the arrears anyway, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So, no further discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Cantu?
Yes?
Councilmember Han?
Yes.
So, congratulations. Start serving some beer and wine, and hopefully the business will continue and further prosper. So, thank you. We have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, so moved.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
The-
Thank you.